This is Rebecca Lowe, or Rebecca Lowe if you listen to Suboptimal Radio, and you are listening to Men in Blazers on the NBC Sports Network.
It's unbelievable!
Good evening, and welcome to all the GFOPs. You have come from very near and some from very far, right here to the Gramercy Theatre, one of the few bald-friendly venues left in a cruel, hirsute world. We have gathered tonight for a tradition which has grown each year in scope and meaning and religious import. And soon tonight, a new member will be joining a fraternity I am very privileged to be a part of, along with World Cup champion Julie Fountain, and the woman whose FIFA hunting license remains pinned to the back of her blazer, former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Now, our conclave has indeed met, and with a minimum of Machiavellian maneuvering, come to a just decision. Hence, you saw the white smoke. That was not Sepp Blatter's financial records avoiding seizure. We will soon have another holder of a golden blazer, just like this one befitting the august solemnity of this evening and the eternal responsibilities that accrue here too. So please take your seats, enjoy your Guinness, and as I, the winner of the very first golden blazer, hereby declare tonight's ceremonies officially open.
Citizenship application.
Jeff Sessions, if you're listening.
Yeah,
it's in process.
Very good. Hello, New York City.
Oh, Rog and Davo here.
Yeah.
Or is it Pesco, my prayer warrior, gut check and shield?
You never know when Pesco's going to come out, Rog. Welcome to the 4th annual night of the Golden Blazer.
Cue Lexi.
Yeah, Lexi, we need a photo. Producer Lexi, come to the stage.
Everyone up for Lexi.
Lexi, really not happy with everyone already, which is great to see. Now you know how we feel on a daily basis.
First Guinness of the evening. Cheers!
Yeah. Okay, Roger, we got 47 cards to get through. Let's go.
The biggest night in sports tonight. The 4th annual Golden Blazer. The biggest night in sports that does not take place inside a golf cabin in Georgia.
Yeah, I love the Butler cabin, Rog. The name conjures greatness. But when you actually stare at the decor, the cheap finished basement-style wood and hastily acquired ferns, the actual look is less grand, more boardroom that you rent by the hour at an Econo Lodge near the airport in Akron, Ohio.
We've all been there, David.
Oh, I've been there a lot.
There's nothing shabby about the Men in Blazers Golden Blazer.
Oh.
There she is, glazing beautifully, just glistening under wraps on a specially commissioned blazer lectern, ready to be given, as it is every year, to the single man, woman, or biped
Could be
whose
both.
distinguished service has left an indelible mark on soccer culture in this great nation and grown the game we love in the country we love.
How do we know it's glistening under there? It might not be glistening. In its inaugural year,
mate.
the Golden Blazer was given to Sir Bob Lee. What a legend that man is. The last surviving sportscaster to have broadcast the United States run to the 1930 World Cup semi-final. And that, incidentally, was under Bruce Arena.
It's in his bar mitzvah year. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. We gave the award to Bob Lee because he's a legend. and because we happened to find a gold sequined blazer in his size 56.
Long.
Yeah, long.
Actually short.
Yeah, just said in huge letters, quite husky. Down the back of the Men in Blazers props cupboard. But Lord, he deserved it, as did our second winner.
Yeah, World Cup winner turned broadcasting savant, Super Julie Foudy.
And last year's winner, the Attorney General. Loretta Lynch, the FIFA hunter. Sepp Blatter's waking nightmare. And a Golden Blazer owner who made many of you in this audience tonight believe that tonight we were going to honour this guy, Jeff Sessions.
And although he was very good as Gillian Holtzman in Ghostbusters, I can tell you with 100% confidence, Jeff Sessions is not backstage waiting for this award.
Yeah, Jeff Schlupp's more likely to get it. Jeff Cameron, more likely to get it. Actually, Jeff Bagwell, steroids and all, more likely to get it.
We're only 30 minutes away from the big reveal here on the stage.
Are your nipples tingling?
The legendary Gramercy Theatre.
Are your nipples tingling?
In downtown New York City. Quite a stage, Rog.
Yeah, Kanye's played here. Dave Chappelle has played here.
Yeah.
Jay-Z has performed here. And tonight, in a new low for the Gramercy Theatre in New York City, us. Do you want a clue as to who's going to win the award?
Yeah.
There's going to be, it's a mammal.
It is wonderful to be here with you all tonight, to be in the loving bosom of so many GFOPs who have travelled from across this great country to be with us and in the bosom of each other. Like Jason Kennedy. Where are you, Jason? The GFOP who oversees the Men in Blazers wiki and has travelled in from Chicago for every single Men in Blazers live show. If he is such a masochist, he could have saved a lot of money by just supporting Arsenal.
There's also one GFOP who has flown the 6,609 miles from Bahrain.
Well pronounced.
To New York City just to be with us. Adam Kirshner, are you here?
Adam Kirchner.
Where are you? You're a madman.
You're insane.
Adam, in the past, people have travelled that far because of Men in Blazers, but normally it's to get the hell away from us.
We raise our Guinness to you, Adam. We also raise
We want to pass a Guinness.
Yeah.
Right, can you pass this back to Adam Kirshner? Tell him he deserves it.
Pass it back, Adam Kirshner's Guinness. And we raise, when you eventually get your Guinness, Adam, we raise it to you. We also raise our Guinness tonight to tonight's beneficiary, Hope for the Warriors, a remarkable veterans organisation. We've long adored them.
Hope for the Warriors is a national organisation which supports service members, veterans, military families, providing programmes that focus on transition, health, wellness, peer engagement and more as the soldiers transition back into civilian life. Proceeds from tonight's Golden Blazers go to Hope for Warriors. They're also collecting in the lobby, so support them please, not just tonight, but always.
We have a night of nights planned ahead with some fantastic guests, culminating in the award of a Golden Blazer produced straight from our sweatshop in Shaanxi province.
Yeah, for a Golden Blazer, just to be candid about this, they use only the finest cotton woven by a monastic breed of virgin silkworms. True story.
Time to talk about some football, Rog.
We've
had some football.
Hang on a minute. How many of us want you to tell you more about virgin silkworms? How many of us want to talk about football? So virgin silkworms.
I'm sure you've got about 25 pages and a Game of Thrones cross-reference on silkworms, Rog. It's pretty likely.
Go on.
The football, Rog.
Yeah, we'd be remiss.
Yeah.
We're taping this as a pod tonight.
Poor.
Virgin silkworms, they're the kings of the north. But we're taping this as a pod right after an afternoon of title hunting Premier League action. Am I right, Spurs fans? Oh, I love deluded human beings. They're my favourite kind. But your team, they're keeping the title chase alive and proving that there is a God. And she's still angry with Swansea City for killing Bob Bradley.
Come on, Bob! Come on, Bob!
I've got to ask you this question. How are you feeling about Chelsea? I mean, thank you, Thomas Pink, but your collar suddenly very, very tight as you lose to Crystal Palace and then kind of scrape by Manchester City.
Just before I answer that question, the stat on Everton's record against the top six over the last, 10 years?
21st century.
21st century. How many games have they won against the top six away from home?
In the 21st century?
Yeah.
1.
Okay, very good. So
now back to Virgin Silkworms.
Yeah. Rog knows from choking. Yes, squeaky bum time, Rog, but let's face it, Chelsea, West London, a lot of celebrity fans, we're entertainers. Oh my God, that is amazing. That, by the way, Arsenal fans in the Premier League that Arsenal play in, where there are 20 teams all called Arsenal, and Arsenal are ahead of about, 14 of them at this point. It's pretty amazing. I love Arsenal fans.
I admire that guy for shouting it out of his small plane as he just buzzes the Gramercy Theatre.
Amazing. Okay, no, Chelsea slip against Crystal Palace. No team I'd rather lose to in the Premier League than Palace. I don't want Palace to go down. Come on, Steve Parish. Come on, the Eagles. I want you to go and do it. It was a slip. Big win for Chelsea today. And like we've seen all season, Chelsea win a game where they are clearly not the best team on the pitch, just as they were against Tottenham at home. They got outplayed. They found a way to win. It's what champions tend to do. Not that I'm counting on it yet. But Chelsea, if they win this season, we've seen Man United, they've been amazing against the bottom teams. We've seen Liverpool this season amazing against the top teams. Chelsea's record against the middle is perfect. They are perfect, statistically perfect against the middle third of teams in the Premier League. And that is their secret. They're really good against average.
I want to check you on one thing.
Yeah.
Are you, candidly, just
Yeah.
between us ladies, not lifting up the title yet? I mean, because to be candid, I think you are inside my head where I have projected Chelsea to win from before this season started. They were my number one pick.
Yeah.
I have awarded you the title week to week to week. You have rejected the title like James Brown throwing down his cape.
Yeah.
And I believe you're inside my head, which is inside your head, and I'm playing you and you're playing me. Do you really not believe? What's the opposite of disingenuously? Do you ingenuously believe that Chelsea have not won this year's title?
You basically said that Chelsea were going to win the title before the season started, which is your own defence mechanism against Chelsea winning the title.
You had self-loathing speaking.
Okay.
So
then you started saying it's inevitable, they've run away with it. Oh, everyone at NBC is so depressed because Chelsea have won the title. I think you said that to me on October the 24th. So this is your thing. There are 8 games still to play. Chelsea have got to go away to Man United. They've got go away to your beloved Everton, Rog. Tap your little bald head.
Thanks, Dad.
They got some tough games. Tottenham just keep on winning, even when they play in Hull's uniforms, like they did today. Tottenham are finding a way to win week after week after week. They are 3 games back. There are 8 games to play. The wonderful thing about sport, Rog, and it's why I love sport, is that anything can still happen. Leicester City won the Premier League title last year. Rog.
Go on.
They won. I know, it's amazing to think about. They won it last year. Anything can happen in sport. It's why it's why we love it. It's why we keep on watching.
Come on, John.
How are you feeling about Everton?
What are you saying?
Well, it's like sport is sport. It's a fantastic thing. You never know what's going to happen. You've had moments this season where Everton were going to this is it. You'd never be more excited. Play the babies. And then you've come through this weekend and you'd never be more depressed. It's why we watch sport. You never quite know what's going to happen.
Well, you kind of do, David, because I did the calculations before the Anfield derby.
Yeah.
I sat down and calculated this. In my lifetime, and I'm older than Wolf Blitzer, Everton have won at Anfield just 3 times in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Just 3 times. We have all the confidence and just comfort of Ned Stark at King's Landing. Somehow it actually always ends up worse for us than it did for Ned Stark. So I was not surprised by what happened on Saturday. Derbies, to me, they're just band-aids that need to be ripped off chest hair. It's like Groundhog Day style. And I knew we were doomed, let me tell you this. I knew we were doomed the night before kickoff when I went to put my 6-year-old son, Ozzy, to bed. It's probably the cruelest thing I've ever perpetrated as a parent. He is Everton mad, my little 6-year-old. And before I put him to bed, I said, what do you think the score's going to be tomorrow in the derby? And he looked at me with complete confidence and he said, 2-0 to Everton, Dad. And I said, who's going to score the goals, son? And he says, Schneids and Seamus Coleman. And I said, mate, they're both out with injury. And my own 6-year-old, he just closed his eyes gnomically and looked at me and said, oh shit, we're going to lose that. Anyway, cut forward to half-time in the derby. Everton, 2-1 down. Cheers. I'm watching the game. My second son, Bear, he's 11, huge Everton fan. He turned to me at half-time and he said, I wrote this down, I'm going to quote it. He said, I've got a bad feeling this is all going to go horribly wrong, Dad. And I looked at him, and I've never been prouder of him in my life. I turned to him, and I said, with tears of joy and pride in my eyes, I said, I always have a bad feeling about life, son. Be afraid. Be very afraid. In truth, the way I experienced derbies was forever forged by the club's 2012 FA Cup semi-final against Liverpool, a defeat at Wembley. I'd taken my 2 sons, older sons, one then age 9, the other 6, never too young to experience cruelty and disappointment. Everton scored first, Jelavic, only to concede twice in predictable, self-sabotaging, kind of self-destructive fashion.
Yeah.
Spursy. It was very Spursy. My whole life is very Spursy. And by the time the final whistle blew at Wembley, both of my own children were just sobbing. And I did what any dad would do in that situation. I hurried them the fuck out the stadium before they became like the Northwestern crying kid. You would never want that for any of your children. You don't want your kids to become an internet meme. And as we tried to exit Wembley, just every Liverpool fan was there cheering, and every Everton fan was just trying to get the hell out of there. And we passed one enormous, obese Everton fan who was just taking out his anger by urinating against the hallowed walls of Wembley. And he was clearly in disarray. He was clearly in anguish. And as we ran past him, me with a 6-year-old and an 11-year-old, he just screamed at us. And he goes, why do we always play like crap up against those? Why do they always find a way to do us? And as we charged past, I just looked at the tubby urinator. And he was wearing a t-shirt that was emblazoned with a legend, bitter, twisted, blue and proud. And that's life. That's life, my friend.
Boys, don't listen to your dad. Please.
They're here tonight. My 2 oldest boys are here
don't
tonight.
Listen to your dad.
They've all survived. And there'll be better men for it. I'll just say a GFOP George Ross Saturano sent me a dictionary definition right after the derby. and it sums up my feelings, and I think for many of you tonight, including you Spurs fans ultimately. He sent me the word Weltschmerz. The Germans always have a word for it. It's a German noun, and it means sorrow that one feels and accepts as one's necessary portion in life. Sentimental pessimism. So boys, let's all raise our glass to sentimental pessimism. Let's stay positive.
No, those two don't make sense with each other.
And let's thank some people tonight who've given us health and happiness since the last Golden Blazer. Davo, you first.
Giant defence mechanism, by the way. Everybody can see through it. Okay, mine, Rog, who I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
Of course, even though he is a ball denier, Antonio Conte. Whatever you think of Chelsea Football Club, this man has winning oozing out of his pores and buried deep inside his DNA. To watch him take my club from the doldrums to the peaks by sheer force of will, and pretty much, let's face it, the three at the back thing may be overrated. It's the DNA oozing out of his pores, of his force of will. It's been a thing of majesty, Roger.
Yeah, his head's not as big as Ronald Koeman's.
No, it's not. Everton are number one there.
I don't know, Sam Allardyce.
That's a big head.
I'd love to see them in a cranium off.
I'd like to measure those heads. I'd like to get them on stage and measure them. Do you think we could do that?
For girth.
For girth, height, width,
honestly,
density.
Could we find a measuring tape that's big enough, mate?
I don't think it's one instrument. I think we've got to use multiple instruments to measure that. A micrometer. What is that? I believe it's something.
Whatever it is, it's insufficient.
Yeah.
I want to thank this guy. That was pathetic. This guy, Bruce Arena.
They're getting used to rooting for him.
Oh, nice to have some Americans in here tonight.
Yeah.
That man is the bastard offspring of Steve Bruce in Quicken's Lone Arena. He might be old school. He might value his gut over like statistics and tactics.
Yeah.
But to do what he did, last international break, Davo, to wander back into that sloppy, still water swamp that is CONCACAF mid-cycle, to pick up our team, to imbue that squad with DJ Khaled level confidence. That takes brass ones. By the way, he's drinking the purple drink back there. I want to thank also this man. This man boy, Christian Pulisic. Oh God, I honestly want to thank his parents for toasting each other with a Bartles and James wine cooler. And then slipping Barry White onto the CD player 19 years ago. And making sweet, sweet World Cup winning love! He's not just a football player. He's hope incarnate. He really is. And when Tenacious P takes the field, there is no need to be afraid. This photo here, it best captures how we all feel about him, am I right? And so it was prophesied. Witness young Christian Pulisic on the right and American football fans on the left. Never let me go, Christian! By the way, how many other football players have they named a whole religion after? Oh, I'm mixing them up with Islam Slimani, sorry.
Yeah, very, very true. Shout out to Clint Dempsey also. We love the babies, we love Pulisic, but Clint Dempsey, you are an amazing, amazing footballer. Okay, enough of your frippery, Rog. We've had so much frippery to open the show. Let's ease ourselves into this warm bath of Guinness that is the night of the Golden Blazer by lubing ourselves up with a guest. And some football talk from a man who actually knows something, unlike you and me, about football. Let's start by bringing a gent to the stage who might, Tommy McNamara apart, be one of the greatest footballers to call New York City his home. He is a bloke who once did this.
Arsenal dangerous in these situations, looking for the nod on Adams, got there too. Vieira, yes, 2-0.
Make Arsenal great again.
welcome to the stage a man who as a player made the superhuman seam routine, and as NYCFC's longest serving coach of all time, he is well on the way to doing the same as a manager. We welcome Premier League title winner, World Cup winner, now in the race to bring New York City its first MLS Cup title, Mr. Patrick Vieira.
Let's just put that one through Google Translate from English into American. They're chanting NYCFC, Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh, my lord, Sasha Kleshtan's here. Well done, Sash. Patrick, I've got to say, when you look at videos of yourself as a player, like we just did, what do you experience? Do you feel like a sudden appreciation of just how bloody good you were? Or is it like us when we look at photos of us with our hair? You're like, I can't believe it used to be there.
You know what, I don't like to watch myself playing football because I always had this feeling that I wasn't that good, or wasn't that elegant, or I wasn't that comfortable with the ball.
Oh,
so I really like people. No, but it's true. I never.
Can we hear it for false modesty?
I never watch one of my games that I used to play. I don't like it. I don't want to live in the past, so I let people talk about myself, telling me if I was good or not.
Well, I must say, the shirt, to me, the accomplishment, to play that well in a shirt that baggy. Come on. I just don't know how you did it. The wind must have slowed you down the entire time. But watching you play, which I did live many times, Patrick.
Thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
Not only were you really good with the ball, not only could you score goals, but your tackling was something to behold. During your playing career, you were coached by Arsene Wenger, Fabio Capello, and Jose Mourinho. But when you came on our podcast last season, you told us, although you had learned a lot from them, quote, "It's important to be myself and not try to copy anybody else, because that would be the biggest mistake that I will make." How would you describe that self? How would you describe Patrick Vieira, the manager?
I want to be the same and having the same passion than when I was playing. I want to be lively on the field, on the bench, the same way I was when I was playing. I want to live the game the same way that when I was playing. So that's why Arsene Wenger, Mourinho, or Mancini, they were fantastic coaches. But it will be important for me to know who I am, and I think the last year I learned a lot about myself because I've been sent off twice. So all this kind of experience made me learn about myself and how I have to conduct myself and how I want to see the team play. So it's exciting for me. It's a really exciting period.
But I imagine players want to see, players want to see you being yourself. Of course. Because if you're not being yourself, you're being fake.
And players, they can smell it. They can smell when it's not true. They can smell when the manager is not honest. And if I don't have the honesty from the players, I'm dead.
It's true. It's what ended our managerial career.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly. What have you learnt about yourself, though? I'm truly fascinated. What have you learnt as a human being about yourself by being a manager?
Is that I have to be an example to the players. I have to be an example. I'm the leader of the team. So I can't conduct myself the same way than I was a player. I have to take a step back and try to analyze the situation. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult, and this is the reason why but that was the referee's fault, not mine. But I have to take a step back and try to analyze the situation in a different way.
But you were an emotional, passionate footballer. What are you like in the locker room at half time? Are you a shouter, Patrick Vieira?
It all depends if you lose a derby 7-0 or it's all depends how you taking things. But I'm quite, I try to take a step back, like I was saying early on. I just try to analyze the situation and try to understand the mood of the players and try to send them the right messages, because I don't want my attitude or the way I am to have a negative impact on the players.
So obviously you know a lot about winning. You've won a lot. But occasionally even winners experience loss. And what is the difference
I've
between...
been really lucky to be at the right place at the right
it's
time.
very true, but you've been a good part of that luck as well. What is the difference between experiencing loss as a player and loss as a coach? How does it feel different?
It's the same pain. Because you working really hard through the week or through the year because you want to be successful, you want to win football matches. And players, coaching, putting the same kind of commitment to be successful. So the pain is the same, because as a team, we win or we lose together, but the pain is the same.
What is the difference between scoring a goal as a player and then watching a goal being scored as a manager? We see Antonio Conte celebrates goals scored. Like, I look back at film of him. When he scores, he's celebrated less as a player than he does as a manager when a goal is scored. But what does it feel like on the sideline?
This is one of the reasons that I love Conte, is the passion that he is on the bench, and this is how he drives his team. And that's what we are different. I will be a little bit more control, and I will leave it inside, and then Conte will express himself. And that's why it's quite really exciting. We have different people, different way of taking things, but I'm more under control. At least I try to.
I always wonder about Conte. Like, I wonder what he's like at his kid's high school graduation. If he's just like, and his kid's like bar mitzvah or circumcision. He's just like, ah! Like everything. Like, what? I want to ask you about your first season. Actually, like, he's in the supermarket and they've got the edamame he was coming. They got it for 3 for 1. Yeah!
Pull-ups.
Yeah. Your parking spot. Ah! Your first season, you became the winningest coach in New York City FC history. Started wobbly, 1-3-3 start, but then it became quite glorious, unbelievably glorious. A Frank Lampard-propelled summer surge. Hopes of the New York team tasting MLS club glory, but then they were snuffed out in the conference semi-finals by bloody Toronto. Your ratings don't even count in the United States, mate.
Yeah.
But the nature of that loss, it was close. Just one touchdown between the two teams in that head-to-head. But when you reviewed the campaign over the summer, that long summer, did it feel good, the progress that you'd made with this franchise? Or was it full of angst, loneliness, longing, like my diary? I'm saying your first season, to you, as a winner, was it cup half full or was it cup half empty, Patrick?
It was empty. It was completely empty. Because as a team and as a football club, the way we work, we want to be successful. We work really hard to bring players to our football club, so at the end what we want is to win. We work really hard every single day because we are competitive, we want to win. So at the end we did really well because we managed to go to the playoff, and of course against Toronto we was expecting to do better and to win that game. Obviously they were better than us on the day, and I think that shows us that we wasn't ready as a team, as a football club, to play this type of game and to go as far as the semi-final. So that's the reason why this year I think we are more competitive, because we change a lot of players, we bring a lot of new players, and I think we have a better team than last year.
So I think I know what the answer to this question is going to be. But so what is success for you this year at NYCFC? What goal have you set for your club?
I just have to be careful what I say in here, because
no one's listening.
No one's listening.
It's just us. We won't tell anybody.
Yeah.
no, but there is a different way.
I know.
That's
what
a good
Chicago's
one.
going for.
Why stop at the World Cup?
I know.
Why such limited horizons? He's already won that. Come on.
I think there is always a different way to analyze what is success. And if you talk to the fans, success means trophies. We want to win something. And for me as a coach, success will be first to try to get the best of every single player that we have in the team. I want players to play at the level. I have to challenge them to improve them and to play at the level that I know they can play. And try to make the team play well, because I believe that more games that we're going to play now level and more games that we're going to play well, more chance we will have to win football matches. So that will obviously bring success. So I like that kind of success, and that is a success for me as well. But at the end, what is important in our world, because people judge us by winning trophies. So it will be difficult for me to stay to New York City for the next 5 years and don't win any trophies.
Hallelujah.
A quick segue. Life off the field. We're here in New York City. I've got to ask you, what is it like to move to America at age 38 as you did? I mean, what's been the hardest thing to adapt to about life in the United States, or the best thing about living in New York City, off the field?
What I love, because even when I was playing in my playing career, I used to come to New York every year because I simply love New York.
Why?
I love New York first because of its diversity.
Yeah.
Diversity, and I think this is the strength of the city. And you know, like you can go walk to the street, you can wear what you want. People don't care. People don't look at you. The people don't notice anything about you. And I love that. And going around the park, and I just love New York. I love the vibe of the city.
Do you have a favourite place in New York City? Do you have a favourite haunt that you like to go to?
I thought that was outside of New York.
Yeah, exactly.
It's another world.
Another world.
No, the things I love to do is spend time at Central Park. I think Central Park is a really specific and something special around there.
Yeah.
Of course, because of the French community that you have in New York, there's some really nice French places that I like to go, meeting friends, and no, I love New York.
Okay, gorgeous. Okay, they say pitching wins baseball championships. In football, it's often said that defence wins titles in this modern era. You've set out to tighten your defence this season. We asked Ledley King this question recently. It has been fascinating watching Chelsea this season, and almost everyone else fell. How has defending become such a lost art in world football since your day?
But I think it's just depending on the philosophy of the coach. I think that is when you look at Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, for him the best way to defend is to attack. And that is a different way of seeing the game. Mourinho liked to have his team quite really compact and play in a different way, but both coaches have been really successful. So my philosophy is a bit more closer to Pep, because I strongly believe that the best way to defend is to attack. So when you look at last year, we scored a lot of goals, but at the end we were the worst defense. At the end we managed to play in the playoff. But when you talk to the fans, they loved coming to the game because they really enjoyed themselves and they had a really good time, and that is really important.
Let's talk about some of your attacking weapons. Because last time we spoke, I asked you about one of my favourite players in world football, Mr. Tommy McNamara. Last time we spoke, Patrick, I asked you, could Tommy McNamara play for Burnley or Middlesbrough? And you said, damn straight he could. And tonight, I want to ask you about another bloke, a Stoke-born phenom, Jack Harrison. Gotta say, when I watch him, every time he gets the ball out on the flank, the hairs on my neck stand on end. He's like an English Leroy Sané. How good can he be?
He's a special talent. There's no doubt about it. I think he even surprised me last year because he was a rookie and he had a fantastic season. And there's no doubt that Jack has the talent to play in the Premier League. No doubt at all about it.
I'm going to read you a quote. It's a quote from me. Jack Harrison for England. Is that an outlandish thing to say?
Why not? Why not? Why not? He's got the talent, and it's just a question of time.
Jack Harrison for the United States of America. Bruce Arena's decision. David.
One of the many pearls on your NYCFC squad, the great Andrea Pirlo, the metronome. Pirlo is 37 years old. You are 40. You look younger, Patrick. You look amazing. You were essentially peers, you and Andrea Pirlo, during your playing days. He's the type of player that even managers can learn from. What is the one thing you've learned working with him? Not just about football, but about life.
He never feels the pressure.
He never feels the pressure.
He's always cool, always relaxed, and on and off the field, the way he's conducting himself is always the same. So there is not an up and down on his mood. He's always like floating, and this is Andrea.
Perlo floating. We could animate that whole thing, and it would be such an amazing animation.
I gotta say, he's not up, Davo. He's never down, Rog. He's like completely in the middle. He's like the amalgam.
Floating.
He's only 2 years younger than you. Do you ever feel like ditching your managerial role and just getting stuck in as a player?
No chance at all. No chance at all.
Come on.
Not until the shirts get baggier.
Patrick, we had City fan Noel Gallagher came on our show. He was producing his latest solo album, his own solo album. And we asked him, what does record producer Noel think about musician Noel? And he said, Noel the producer thinks Noel the musician is a lazy bastard. He must try harder. He must expletive try harder. Dig deeper, go to the well. He said, Noel Gallagher the musician thinks Noel Gallagher the producer is a genius. What would Patrick Vieira the player think of Patrick Vieira the coach? And what would Patrick Vieira the coach think of Patrick Vieira the player?
Wow, Rod's question.
Asking for a friend.
Rod's question. That's an essay answer.
Wow. So I will start with Patrick Vieira, the coach, thinking about Patrick Vieira, the player.
Sign him with TAM or GAP or DP or whatever it takes. No, go on.
I will say the crazy, passion, determined.
What would he have him work on? What would Patrick Vieira the coach have Patrick Vieira the player work on? You just got to work on this, Patrick, a little bit.
If we had to work on something, it will be on the goal scoring of it.
Okay.
And avoiding interviews with bulls.
Okay. And now Patrick Vieira, what would Patrick Vieira the player have made of Patrick Vieira the coach?
Genius? No.
It's like Noel Gallagher. It's just like Noel Gallagher. Patrick, it is a delight to have you here with us tonight. Just as it is a joy for anyone who watched you as a player to witness, as we did. You transformed yourself into a manager with such passion and intelligence. There are few things that could take MLS next level more than a club in a major market going deep into the playoffs, perhaps winning the whole thing. We wish you and your club and your league Godspeed. Thanks so much, Patrick Vieira. This is saying something, because we've interviewed a lot of footballers, a lot of football managers, a lot of people in football, a lot of actors. That is the best smelling man we have ever interviewed. He smells amazing.
When I first came to this country, I watched the NBA. I was in Chicago, and Ahmad Rashad was interviewed at the Bulls sitting by Bill Murray. And they said to Bill Murray, tell us something about Ahmad Rashad. And he said, he wears enough Drakkar Noir for all of us. Tonight, David, we both smell great.
That was not Drakkar Noir, I can tell you that, Rog. That was not Drakkar Noir. Okay, Rog.
Smells of Tommy McNamara.
I love a reveal.
Smells of victory!
49!
I love a reveal, Rog. We're going to do this Golden Blazer a bit different to Golden Blazers past.
Yes, we are, Davo.
With more Guinness. That's probably not possible.
In years past, the announcement of the most coveted tailored fabric propelled award in World of Sports has closed the night, and then some. But I got to be honest, and it's not Jeff Sessions. The 2017 winner is such an optimal, special human being that we both decided to dedicate the entirety of the rest of the night to his or her honour. Our winner, candidly, has done so much to grow the popularity of the game on these shores. We wanted to create a magical evening which really spoke to their contribution and achievement and made it clear that we never, ever, ever take it for granted.
Very, very true, Rog. So without further ado, let's bring this
Ready
year's
ado.
Golden Blazer to the stage. Are you ready? Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, it is someone who we have spent thousands of hours watching on television over the past 4 years.
Is it the Cars for Kids band?
Not a bad idea. We'll get there eventually. Someone who has been part of the Men in Blazers family and our live shows and the beginning of every pod from the very early days. A woman who we football fans are lucky enough to commune with here in the United States on a weekly basis.
GFOPs, please rise and join me in bringing to the stage a woman who made Back in the Mo sound like the finest Greek epic poetry. The winner of the 2017 Golden Blazer, the mother of dragons, Miss Rebecca Lowe! Becky Lowe!
Rebecca Lowe! It's Becky Lowe. Wearing your Irving red, the greatest literary society at the Mercersburg Academy, Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. Becky Lowe, what a human being, what a biped you are. You were born 23 years ago in Earle, West London. Can't believe you got out. I'm sure you never imagined that you would grow up to become the toast of a generation of American soccer fans.
I didn't, Davo. This is an honour.
Thank you. Another thing we've done for you. Okay, let's look at this, just yet another thing. Let's look at this moment with wonder. Let me take you back in the George Michael sports machine. This is like this is your life right now. In the George Michael sports machine to August 17th, 2013. You were still a teenager. The first time Rebecca Lowe said hello to us from the set at NBC Sports in Stamford, Connecticut, and life has never been quite the same again.
LA Galaxy. Bottoms. Boots.
Welcome to Barclays Premier League Live on NBCSN.
Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca Lowe and welcome to Premier League Live. We are coming to you live this morning from our International Broadcast Centre in Stamford, Connecticut. It's a big day for everyone here. For the next 9 months, we will be your home for exclusive coverage of the Barclays Premier League. The new season has at last arrived and we will cover every angle of the opening weekend and bring you all 10 matches live.
Your hair!
Yeah, it's Antonio Conte's hair.
It's like a semi-Rachel.
It is a Rachel.
I gotta ask you, were you nervous?
Oh my God, I'll always remember the boss counting down in my ear and he got to about 7, 6, and I actually got a lump in my throat, like a frog. I thought I was gonna cry because I was absolutely terrified. The night before, I went to bed, because I had to go to bed at like 7 or 8 p.m. that night, to obviously get up at 3. I remember saying to my husband and my mum, yeah, I don't think I can do it. I wasn't totally confident because I was still very new to American TV and everything was so different.
And your hair was too short.
My hair was incredibly short. My tan was over the top.
We did have many conversations back then about your hair.
There was a section of season 1 when the hair was changeable by
Yeah.
the week. There's a lot of hair.
Yeah, there's a lot of hair
situations.
situations.
It's very tactically flexible.
Yeah.
But you coming to these American shores, and I don't like to be hyperbolic, it has been strategically crucial to this nation's health as well when Piers Morgan left us. I have to say, to a nation of American soccer lovers, Rebecca Lowe, you are like the Queen, Mother Teresa, Molly Ringwald and Lady Edith rolled into one.
Lady Edith.
Simply put, when you were away, selfishly, the games themselves, they just feel lesser, don't they, David?
Yeah, they do. Especially when Earle was hosting.
They do.
I love Earle. I love him. I love it.
I have a tattoo on just above my buttocks.
Yeah.
And it says, I don't mind self-quoting.
It's a long tattoo.
It is. It says, David tattooed it himself.
In cursive.
He did. It says, a weekend without Rebecca Lowe is like an Arsenal game without self-sabotage and protest planes. Am I right? But first things first, take us back to the first time when you met football and football met you. You were 9, little Becky Lowe.
14 years ago.
You went with your father, Chris, himself a legendary broadcaster in England, and he made a slightly crazy parental choice. He took you to Selhurst Park. It's nice to see Jason punching in the crowd. What do you remember about that day? Because it changed your life. Ultimately, it changed America.
It did. You know who, Roger, we were playing that day? We were playing Everton. And it was,
Go on.
I think it was around, I want to say it was the 89-90 season, so Ian Wright was starting to come into everyone's, Ian Wright was starting to get big, Mark Bright was on the scene, John Solarco, these names.
Oh, Solarco.
Nigel Martin in goal.
An Everton legend.
Palace legend first. And, I think we lost that game, but...
What was the score?
I think it was 2-1. I think it was 2-1.
We let you score.
Roger was hiding behind the sofa.
It was just one of those things. Like, my dad had a spare ticket and he just was like, oh, I've got no one else to go. Oh, Bex, you can come if you want. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that'll be great. Not thinking for a second it would be anything other than just a one-off. And my dad certainly wasn't expecting to take his daughter every single Saturday after that. And then it was love.
Everton do that
Did
to
you
a
about to
person.
say it was lovely? I mean, I'm from South London. It is the land of savages down there, as you well know.
It is
Savages down there in South London.
absolutely right.
Yeah, but Davo, Everton.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you, we've got a lot to thank that club for. They
They
gave you us.
Rebecca Lowe was created by Everton. Okay,
She's
that's
a
what you're going
Morano
to.
Everton fan. That's
Okay.
a joke for my wife. Go on.
Okay, I don't want to project, unlike Rog. We all love football for so many reasons. I love it because it allows you to experience winning trophies, Rog. Rog loves it more as a safe version of self-harming. What is it that you love about football, Rebecca? What is it that when you think football, when you kiss football, and we all kiss football here, when you kiss football, why are you kissing football? What do you love about it?
You know, it's interesting because when I moved here, I thought the thing that I'd miss the most would be to be at the games because I was working every week at a different game and that I wouldn't get that
The
proximity.
violence.
Yeah, the violence, the abuse from the fans as I
Yeah.
walked along with my clipboard.
Yeah.
No, I thought I wouldn't get that feeling of proximity and that I'd miss that. But actually, you know what I think it is? I think it's the hope. I'm probably a bit like you, Rog. Every week, it's just...
With nicer hair.
You're full of hope that this week could be, especially if you're a Palace fan or anyone under the top 6, this week could be your week, and then it's not, but you hang in there. And then when it is...
Like this last weekend.
Correct! Oh my God. It's like a tribe, isn't it? You're like part of a tribe, and that tribe is successful, might only be once every 3 months, but other than that, I can't even put it into words. It's just the best thing ever.
I'll put it into words. Self-delusion.
Yeah.
David.
Hope. Yeah, it's a lot like you, Rog. Hope. Something that nobody has ever said.
Your childhood dream.
Yeah, your childhood dream was to become a comic actor. You hit the stage. You improvised a little at the University of, I believe, East Anglia. We see that coming out in the air, your little interplay with the Robbies and your straight man Kyle. Whenever you're interviewed, you always say, one disastrous sitcom audition killed the idea, in which you were taken by the BBC to a disused church in Brixton.
Yes.
And, quote, told to be funny.
Yep.
Details, please.
Oh my God, it was actually the same year I applied for the job that got me into my career. It was a competition and the BBC were running a BBC talent search, and it was everything from a new weather girl to a new football reporter, which was the one that I amazingly ended up winning. But they were also searching
It was
for
like American Idol, like Pop Idol for broadcasting.
Yeah, a lot smaller. But yeah, it was on the back of like a cornflakes packet, and there was one of these.
Seacrest still hosted it.
Yeah, one of these was a search for a cast of a new sitcom, and at the time I thought, yeah, I'm totally going to be an actress. That's definitely what's going to happen. So my friend and I went along 6 a.m. to this church in Brixton. Now Brixton, how do you describe Brixton, Davo?
Brixton is, in South London terms, you leave the most violent part of South London, having had violence visited upon you, and you think, you know what, at least we weren't in Brixton, where the violence would have been really horrible.
Yeah, so 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning, my friend and I are in Brixton, and we queue up to get into this church.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it makes me feel sick thinking about it. And we get in, and we are literally put in a circle, everyone. There's about 100 of us, and we're told by the BBC producers we're going to go round one by one, and each of you has to be funny.
Yeah.
One after, and needless to say, less than funny. And when they get, what can you, there's nothing you can do, like be funny. There's nothing you can do when someone tells you to be funny.
Whoopee cushions.
I can't even.
Pull my finger, David.
I can't even remember. I blocked it out. And needless to say, I wasn't.
What great training.
I genuinely, I cannot tell you what I did. Blocked it out. It was hideous.
Did you not just cut to Neil Ashton?
That's so inside. It's so
good. Like Comedy's Lost, football's game.
Yeah.
You can really say the same thing about LVG. But let's talk about how you do it. How you do what you do that makes us so enthralled on a Saturday at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Back in the mo.
Your opening monologue. It's like 6:30, 7 o'clock. You come on. You do your whip around the stadium, the Vitality Stadium, Old Trafford, KC. You're silencing Kyle with one hand.
Constantly.
You're engaging Neil Ashton in his dark cave. You go on and on.
Terrible things happen there.
You barely draw a breath in the first 15 minutes. And I'm sitting there in my underpants and wife beater across town. Davo is in his smoking jacket and silk pajamas.
Yeah.
We're both so bloody exhausted. We're sipping the first Guinness in the morning, breakfast of champions. But you are just so vibrant and on. It's like watching Robin Williams do improv in an English accent. What is the secret to being so awake and alive? Because Bob Lee told us he used elephant tranquilizers.
Tylenol PM on a Friday night at 7 o'clock is wonderful.
You get your sleep.
Oh, you have to get, there is no doubt. We were on air for 8.5 hours on those days. So I go to bed at 7 o'clock on a Friday night with a Tylenol PM or 2, Advil PM if it's been a bad week, and it's to bed, and it's, so when the alarm
I like the way you're negotiating with both companies right now. I love that. Very good. Good work. I'm proud of you.
And so when that alarm goes off at 3:15, I've had my 8 hours. I'm there. I'm ready to go. I'm up for it. And the other thing is, sometimes there's been the occasion where the alarm goes off and you get that thing that you used to get when you were a teenager, I really don't want to get out of bed. And then I think I literally have no choice. Because if I don't get out of bed and go and do this show...
Pierre will kill you.
Correct. It would just be, I have no choice. I have to do it.
Got it. Okay, the first time many Americans saw you was the Euros in 2012. Remember those when you worked for ESPN? It was clear that you thought differently about football than most presenters. Frankly, you just present differently. You don't present like an American sportscaster. What is the key? How with a why? Is it all the preparation or over-preparation? What goes into you have a very relaxed presenting style, but I always feel like you're like a duck. You're like calm on top, but underneath you're paddling like hell.
I am definitely a duck, yeah. Yeah, no, it is a ton of preparation. So I come for the Friday is like I take Friday and that's just nothing else but work on Friday, and I read a ton of things and listen to the radio all day from England, like the English sports radio, and then I just get the amazing stats pack that the guys produce for us, and then I whittle it down to what I need from the stats pack, which is different from what Earle needs, what Kyle needs. Kyle doesn't do any homework. What the Earle needs. I'm just kidding, he does. Kyle's like
It's so.
Get your places, guys.
So
Hold on to your hair, guys. Hold on to your hair. The hairless world.
And I just do ton and ton of preparation so that if anything ever goes wrong, and only a couple of times in my career has something gone really wrong. Once was, I remember once was with ESPN, I think during that Euros, there was a rainstorm which was so bad that the game got postponed for like an hour. And so you had to have a million things to talk about. So ever since something like that happened,
horse tranquilizers.
I tried to have
Let's talk about Crystal Palace.
Yeah, if all else fails, that's where we're going to go. So yeah, it's just all about preparation, Davo, and just, I don't know. I think it's just, over the years I've got more relaxed because I know the programme inside out, and also I know the Robbies and Kyle inside out. So we're much more working like a machine, I think.
And is it the fact that you did sort of practice improvisation? You did sort of do improvisation in college?
No, because I was so bad at that. There's definitely absolutely nothing.
Is being bad at improvisation, because it could be a key here.
Yeah.
But is there something about that and feeling a little bit sort of outside yourself, feeling unprepared, that made you go and prepare so much?
Yeah, I think probably so.
The honest truth is, if you can be funny on command in a Brixton church basement, David,
you'll never make it.
I also think, having watched Rebecca do her job, they always say it's the trade you don't make that make you successful. It's the research you do that you don't use that makes you use about 25% of the research that you do, which makes you so remarkable. But you broke through as a woman broadcasting sport in England. That is a tough challenge, guys. I gotta say, I mean, you became the... You do not know how tough a challenge that is. You really, I mean David Moyes knows how tough a challenge that is. But you became the first woman in the UK to host the FA Cup final in 2012. It's a tough climb. It's a tough climb for a female sports talent in the United Kingdom. You once said, I feel fully accepted in the United States. There have been times I didn't feel that in the UK. I'll actually extrapolate for you. You mean almost all of the time. Rebecca, you have done so much for us in America. You really have. But do you also think America's done so much for you?
100%, absolutely, Rog. I think I wasn't that far away from leaving the industry in the UK, to be honest with you. It was that difficult and that unpleasant at times that I got to a stage about 2 months before I got the call from NBC, when I remember saying to my husband after a particular incident, I think I'm done. I think I've done 10 years and I think I'm done. I'm not built to be somebody who's kind of going to elbow everybody out the way and be so thick-skinned that anything can bounce off me. I'm just not built that way. And enough stuff had happened up to that stage, and it had happened from the moment I started my career all the way up until that day. And I just thought that might be me, and maybe I'll do something else. Maybe I'll open a cake shop. Anything, something different. Because honestly, I'm brilliant at making cakes.
If we switch that to pies, I think we could have a business. I think Rebecca Lowe's pie shop. I think it would do very well.
Absolutely.
I didn't. Okay, your impact has been.
By the way, we are going to talk about your baking in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But go on. Remember that Rebecca Lowe says she's brilliant at baking. Keep going, David.
Okay, your impact has been profound and seismic, Rebecca. Certainly, no one has done more to boost American tourism in Burnley than you, Rebecca. Do you know how many Americans want to visit Turf Moor? Probably because it sounds like a magical Lord of the Rings kingdom where hobbits play football. But I'm a man who spent his entire career in television, every moment, since the Mercersburg Academy. And take it from me, you are a superlative broadcaster. You're unflappable, you're knowledgeable, you can back time with the best. You can take a hard count, you can take a soft count, open PL, close PL. You can do, like Tarico, but he has supernatural stuff going on. You have everything you need. What I respect you most, though, you have worked with some of the greats. Costas, Tarico, Jeremy Roenick. You've worked with the entire Meekum family of the Meekum Motor Auctions.
Meekum Motor Auctions.
But you have avoided slowly adopting an American accent without knowing it.
How have you done it?
Have I?
You have.
Are you sure?
Yes, you've avoided an American accent.
Okay.
Back in a mo. But I do enjoy your American accent when you do it. And I find myself, so. Because you have to start with the word so.
You have to start if you're going to do it.
Okay, so let's go. So.
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 The golden blazer.
It's so.
Oh my god, so. Is it? So you have to, because your mouth goes in. So. Yeah. Sang.
So.
I bet.
So. That's the only American accent I can do now. Is I do Rebecca doing an American accent, and that's the only one. Love it. So good.
You automatically, when Davo does a Rebecca Lowe American accent, you automatically sound like Boss Hogg. Rebecca, you used to walk to school with someone quite famous.
Yes.
Who was it?
Well, Peter Crouch, but I think Wikipedia slightly changed it. We walked on opposite sides of the road.
Yeah.
But we did walk to school at the same time.
But amazing, he was on the other side of the road and he was still holding hands with you. That
He's like Mr. Tickle, right? Roger Hargreaves fans.
Yeah.
Here's Mr. Tickle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He would occasionally lift up a house and show you who was living in it.
If, while walking across the road, but still incredibly intimately with you,
Yeah.
Peter Crouch had turned round to you and said, Becky.
Lowe.
What do you think is more likely? That I, Peter Crouch, with the very long arms, am about to become an English international, and more than that, a familiar sex symbol within English households. Or you, Becky Lowe, are going to become one of America's most beloved broadcasters covering top-flight English football. How would you have answered that question?
Well, first of all, I've been like, yeah, but your twin friends behind you, I really fancy one of them. So can I just talk to them first? Because, oh my God, Peter Crouch had these twin friends, Robert and Edward, and no one
Last
ever...
name? Because we're going to search for them
cannot
later.
do that.
Okay.
One of them, and no one, I feel bad, but like Peter was just, he was tall and he had a tennis racket, and it was like, yeah, it was kind of like, can you just, all of my girlfriends...
And the tennis racket was like this
it's
big
like
in his
tiny.
hand. It was like a tiny little tennis racket.
We were like 14, can I just say, at the time, and we were all like, he was like, oh, the tall guy, and everyone else was looking at his friends.
Yeah.
So I would probably have just asked him to move along and let...
And where was Simon Roger in this whole story?
Simon Roger was on my pencil case and on my wall at
Okay, got it.
So hang on a minute. You were 14,
Yeah.
so Peter Crouch had just had his bar mitzvah. The theme was bloody tall.
The robot.
And you were in love with his twin cousins.
Yeah.
Like a foreshadowing of the two Robbies. Anyway, let's keep going. There you go. Move
They're
us
not
along.
cousins, Rod.
Move us along.
Okay, we are poised. We are poised to bring on a slew of guests who will roast and toast you. Did we get Jeffrey Ross, Rog? But first, to set the tone, let's watch a video message from one of many Rebecca Lowe aficionados.
Hello, Rebecca. I'm sorry I can't be with you. Men in Blazers tonight, a prestige Golden Blazer Award. It's wonderful to see you honoured for all you have done growing the Premier League in the USA and United States. Keep up the great work. I know you're a great big Palace fan. Hopefully we will stay up this season and look forward to seeing you soon. All the very best, Rebecca, and well.
Tear for Big Sam! I gotta tell you, that close. He's like a human eclipse. He really is. Bex,
Yeah.
how do you feel about that man? Do you love that man as much as he loves pies?
The amount of pie he's clearing out of his teeth in the first half of that tape is like, he's got so much pie to get out of there.
I'm gonna be honest. when he was appointed, I might have had a reservation or two.
Yeah.
Now I love
You're all in.
I am all in.
I like it. Didn't instill me with much confidence of like, I hope we're going to stay up. But it doesn't matter if we don't, because I'll just go somewhere else. I've got a Hull. It'll be absolutely fine.
Nice segue about people who, when they were appointed, you didn't have great confidence in. Now, David.
Okay, Rog, enough of our suboptimal pandering. Time to bring on a man who really knows Rebecca Lowe. And not just through the television screen, whilst covered in breakfast crumbs, pie and Guinness. This is a gent who played nearly 600 senior games for Port Vale and Wimbledon, scoring 136 goals. He took Jamaica to the World Cup finals.
Not easy.
And fake ate a pasty in our panic room, thus cursing Men in Blazers show season 2. Can we have a big golden blazer for a pundit who is half man, half Robbie? We welcome to the stage the one and only Mr. Robbie Earle. So many Robbies.
So many Robbies, so little time. Robbie,
it's a roast. Remember, it's a roast, Robbie.
Robbie,
So.
it's a joy. Can we get a glass for Robbie, John Johnson?
Yeah.
Can we hear it for John Johnson, elite theatre producer, GFOP? This guy has won Tonys and he continues to slum it with us.
Yeah.
Can we get you a Guinness?
Another Guinness. There you go.
The Guinnesses are all down there by you.
It's got one right there. That's a Guinness.
Robbie, as you pour that, you television people, you really optimal television people, our idols, David and mine, we don't really know the real you by watching television. We think we do. I mean, Wolf Blitzer, my idol. When that guy is not in the Situation Room, you won't believe me in this, but you only find him at the local skateboard park, thrashing metal and just grinding his deck up and down the half pipe. Yeah, it's Wolf Blitzer! But Rebecca Lowe, to what extent are we seeing the real person? Because I think we are. No, Rebecca.
Yeah.
How much are we seeing the real person, or is she like completely different in real life?
Let me start with 4 a.m. in the morning. Musto and I head into work. Come through the doors of NBC.
Shots.
Bex is in. That's the welcome.
Yeah.
We head to the makeup room.
Yeah.
The Queen sits on her throne in England. The Queen of Football sits on the throne in the makeup room. We minions run around and make sure she is attended to.
But enough about Carl Martino.
That's exactly how I imagine her to be when I watch her on television. She's exactly the same in real life as she is on television. But from what you're saying, the single thing in what you've described so far, witness, is the Rebecca Lowe laugh. The Rebecca Lowe, it's a cackle really.
It is a high, loud, long cackle.
It is.
They're very early in the morning. Hurt your ears a little bit.
Well, I've got to say, when I first heard it, it's the only thing about Becky that shocked me. Because I always imagined, as I'm sure you do, dear listener, that Rebecca Lowe's laugh will be made of puppies and rainbows and unicorns.
It's made of a Lee Catamol tackle. That line. Your relationship with Rebecca, Robbie, is deep-rooted and meaningful. When you work with people as much as you do, you're spending more of the weekend with them than with your own family. Does it feel like family on the set of NBCSN?
It feels like mummy.
Yeah.
And children. Now
Naughty,
you've got to remember,
naughty children.
There's 3 children, so there's the 2 Robbies in this car. Now we are very different, as Bex will tell you.
One of them's the runt, others the litter.
Kyle struggles for attention at times, so Bex is always on me. Cow!
Shiny thing.
Robbie Musto makes no decisions without going to data and fact. Robbie, do you want a cup of tea? Well, I had a cup of tea about 12 hours ago. Think about, do I need another cup of tea now, or do I need to wait?
Carry the one.
What does Opta say about tea?
Yeah.
And yourself.
Robbie Earle's a little bit Caribbean, so we're a little bit more laid back with things. We go where it goes.
Purely medicinal.
Yeah, but your relationship, the two of you, and Davo and I, just for a moment, stepping back.
Yeah.
It is fraught with early trauma. This is like behind the music. Let me take you back in the George Michael Sports Machine. To Selhurst Park, stardate April 9th, 1993. Rebecca Lowe's Crystal Palace were playing Robbie Earle's Wimbledon. And when I say Rebecca Lowe's Palace, she was actually just watching in the stadium. Rebecca Lowe was actually playing. Cue the 20th and 53rd minutes. Robbie Earle, talk us through these minutes as if you're in the Land Rover tactic session.
What's going to happen is... They are the owners. But Earle owns the 6-yard box and puts Wimbledon in the lead, Dele Alli style, before Dele Alli was
Great goalkeeping, Nigel Martin, come to Everton.
And look at the state of the pitch, by the way.
Move, but highly effective.
Well, it didn't stop the Super Dons getting over the Super Eagle.
From exactly the same spot.
But the real estate that I owned at Crystal Palace, the Super Dons go 4-0 ahead in Crystal Palace, another bad day for the Eagles, I'm afraid.
Rebecca Lowe getting her keys in on somebody in the stands there.
4-0 that game ended to your Wimbledon. When you ran back to the centre circle there, Robbie Earle, were you like, somewhere in this stadium, there's an 11-year-old Crystal Palace fan that's watching this game whose heart I've just broken, and in 25 years' time, she still won't have forgiven me because the hurt does linger.
I went back to the halfway line and I went like that and I could hear... Like, you know what? That's going to live with me, that noise. It's going to come back to haunt me someday.
Now, is it not true, Rebecca Lowe, that you still harbour some ill will towards Robbie Earle?
Yeah.
Because weren't Palace relegated that season?
Yeah. And also, he brings it up a lot, and everyone forgets that it was our home. You just played there. You just rented it. You were renters.
We were squatting.
Tenants. Owners.
She's not bitter at all.
No, clearly not.
Relegated that season. Palace, not the easiest of seasons this year, Rebecca. What a one there is, Robbie.
Yeah.
What's Beck's like in studio, in game, off air, watching Palace slump from one dreadful loss to another? Does she take it well?
There's a couple of things. Let's start with the start of the day. So the start of the day is great introduction, set the show up, get to the first game. First game is our first point of, let's relax. Shoes off, slippers on.
We've seen the slippers.
Yeah.
Big Crystal Palace slippers or big furry cat slippers. Don't mention them or you're in trouble.
We put them on air.
Don't mention them or you're bang in trouble. Then it's down to work mode. It's like serious stuff. Earle, are you ready? Earle, are you listening? Musto, are you ready? Musto, are you listening? I mean, it's military precision, getting everything right. After the show, long hours on the TV, a little bit tired from early in the morning, Earle and Musto like a light ale or two to relax. Beep, beep, phone. Have you seen the interview with Jojo Marino? Fucking hell. Beep, beep! What do you think we should talk about opening segment tomorrow? Jesus, well, she can give it a rest. Professional to the core.
It's amazing, because that professionalism, I mean, to me, Rebecca Lowe, I've got to say, on the rare occasion Everton lose, I'm normally watching at home. I've ripped off both sleeves of my shirt. I've burnt the couch. I've chucked a pint glass through the television. And then my wife makes me go and do some anger laundry. But you, like, Palace will lose, and they'll cut to you immediately the second, like, they lose to, like, Hull or something, and you'll just say, disappointing performance, let's go to the closing minutes at West Ham.
Before we cut.
Yes, please.
Wilf, how have you missed that one?
Wilf. He's Crystal Palace's Theo. Wilf.
Well, what I know is, in public, Rebecca, how are you so good at repression?
Not answering. Okay, something Rebecca is also not so good at least according to neutral witnesses, Robbie. We have heard Rebecca is a passionate baker. Yes. She means well, she tries hard. She's essentially the Damien Delaney of baking.
Terrible.
Can you describe the taste of the first ever flourless, sugarless chocolate cake she brought in, and which I believe required the Heimlich to be applied to several unfortunate producers who tucked it?
Okay, I'm going to be nice.
Okay, yeah, be fair.
Anything that's got less in the title is a worry to start. It's chocolate less, it's flour less, it's sugar less. Interesting. Now, Rebecca's got this unique way of baking that brings you two very distinct tastes at the same time. It's got a dryness that's quite appealing, with a moisture that's quite different. It's both dry and moist at the same time.
Dry and moist, you've just described Phil Jones's approach to defending.
I believe Rebecca's tour de force is now her energy balls that she bakes. Can you solve a global mystery, Robbie, and tell us what do Rebecca Lowe's energy balls taste like?
Betsy's balls is the future, by the way.
Good.
Betsy's balls is the future. They are good texture.
Yeah. Good size.
Good size.
What? They just fill a hole, don't they?
Fill a hole. At 10 o'clock,
10
a.m. hole with a cup of tea.
Yeah, they are. I think that is.
That's a saviour.
I've done that the last few weeks.
There's a future in your balls.
There is a future in Bex's balls.
Very good.
Thank you, Robbie, for that graphic and 5 cents filled description. Before we moved on, I just want to give you a moment, because you are a poet. I want you to put into your words, having worked with Bex for the last 4 years, what role does she play on set? The glue, the Michael Carrick? Because watching, she seems to make all of those around the better, smarter, more lethal.
We go to events, so we do one in Burberry, of all places, very nice. At the start of every season, people talk about signings of the season, blah, 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 and I always have said on a few occasions, the signing of the season for NBC was Rebecca Lowe, without doubt. She changed the way that we watch our football. Now, when you work with somebody who's as driven, who's as dedicated, who takes every word and every sentence importantly in terms of what we're going to deliver, how we're going to deliver it, the shows aren't produced; they are hand delivered by Rebecca Lowe. Let me tell you.
She's the N'Golo Kante of broadcasting. More from you in a moment. But Bex, studio crew at Stamford, they're not the only part of your football family. There's also the red or dead Arlo White. The erudite Graham Lasso, please clap loudly. Or else, it's bad for confidence levels abroad. And the poetic philosopher king known as Lee Dixon! We like to think of them as the half-bred English cousins who you FaceTime with every week. And you see them once a year as a reminder of how different, not feral, just different, that they really are.
Yeah, they are, Rog. Well, tonight would not be proper without a word of wisdom from them. And so we give you, this is so much like Sarah, like this is your life. The Ginger Master, the King of Old Spice, Mr. Arlo White, from up in a random gap tree, along with the great Graham Lasso.
Good evening, New York, from the Emirates Stadium in North London. Earle White to Gramercy Theatre. Rog, Davo, how you doing? We're sorry we can't be there tonight for the presentation of the Golden Blazer, but the announcement is now going to be made by Gramercy Theatre for this year's winner.
What an honour to announce that this year's Golden Jacket winner is...
It's a blazer.
Earle.
Really? Oh my goodness. Well, I'm humbled. This has come completely out of the blue. I don't know what to say. I don't usually win awards. Thanks to Rog, thanks to Davo. This is incredible.
Sorry. Earle. Look, not Arlo. Earle. Rebecca. It's Rebecca.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Congratulations, Rebecca.
Right, yeah. Well, of course. We're hilarious, aren't we?
Brilliant.
Rebecca, sorry we can't be there tonight. This award is thoroughly deserved. You lead our programme and our show and our team so brilliantly well. I remember our old days in the sports room at the BBC. Always knew you were going to be an absolute superstar. This is thoroughly deserved. Enjoy your night.
Congratulations, Rebecca, from me. I'm sure gold is your favourite colour.
Yes, that was Arlo's La La Land moment. Graham Lasso in the role of Warren Beatty there. What a man Earle White is, as a broadcaster and a warrior for ginger rights. What will come first, the Pulitzer or the Nobel? Lee Dixon said he had no interest in participating.
A Pulitzer or Nobel? Yeah. I think I'll probably become bald first.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, Roger.
Yeah.
Okay, talking about baldness, a perfect segue to our next guest, a man who needs no introduction, but one we're going to introduce anyway. He's our Buddy Hackett, joining us on stage/screen/pod more than any other biped, and yet somehow you, Rog, have managed to confuse him for both Diane Keaton's son-in-law and an even more handsome Olivier Giroud. We welcome to the stage our favourite NBC Sports analyst and cartoon character, not named Robbie, the one and only Mr. Kyle Martino!
By the way, the Gramercy, the historic building, you guys, incredible we're here.
Pint glass for Kyle.
I licked the carpet downstairs, so I'm high as a kite right
Very, very good.
now. No idea
Again.
what's going on.
Again.
There you are, so it'll just be like any other Saturday morning then. We don't need your excuses.
Is Rebecca here yet?
Neil Ashton.
Hard-hitting questions first, Carl.
Oh, shit.
You and Bex, which one of you is Becky with a good hair? Hang on a minute, don't answer that. Someone's missing. Someone's missing here.
Yeah. Someone is missing here.
Yeah. Can we have on the
hashtag not invited?
Can we have on the Robbie Musto, please, with producer Lexi?
There he is. We've got to put him at the front, right there. There we go. Look at
We're here
Musto.
for producer Lexi. Oh God, Robbie Musto. If only you, people out there, had let him know how much you love him while he was still alive. You're a bunch of bastards.
I miss him.
Can we get Kyle a pint glass, please?
Yeah.
Kyle, I've got to say, from a distant perspective, not knowing...
We're right next to each other.
You smell amazing. Can I say, from a distant perspective, never having met you before tonight, either of you, it's fair to say, to me, a casual viewer, you and Rebecca seem the most similar on set. You've described your relationship to me as a brother-sister relationship. Is this true? Describe, etc.
Oh man. Yeah. So the Robbies have joint custody of me, and Rebecca and I have a very love-hate relationship. You see, well, like brothers and sisters do. In the studio, we tend to fight a lot when you don't see us. When you see us, it's all love. When you don't see us, there's a lot of fighting. Anywhere from debating into yelling at each other.
No. Carl,
Earle?
you yell.
Earle? Fighting. Anywhere from David Cameron all the way to David Beckham, we have major debates. Yeah. We try to solve the world's issues. We talk about a lot of things.
Mainly around people called David?
Only people called David. That's the only thing that we're knowledgeable about.
Parameters.
But But there's a
normally
lot
when
of
like
love.
West Brom Stoke is on, and we just got to get through it. Isn't it?
It's always on that. And here's what we don't realize when we're fighting too.
Yeah.
We get into these huge, long debates about issues that no one should be talking about. And we think it's like this, it's very intimate, and we don't realize it's actually like this. We have like 50 people on the team that are listening in the control room, like
recording your fight. And so let's play. Oh, no, I'm joking.
Finally, we kind of come to a hug it out, where either Earle or Musto have walked away and have totally taken
Musto
themselves out
hates
of the
confrontation.
situation.
He's like a child that hates confrontation. Has to leave the room. But I do think that we have got better. I definitely got better at kind of just saying, you know what, Kyle?
Well, this is
I
turning
think
into
we
a
should.
We could got better, Kyle.
Absolutely not. Neither of us have ever admitted to the other, you know what, you actually probably have a good point there.
Correct.
It always just ends with, well, all right. And it culminated with we had a really massive fight one time.
Did we? Oh my God, this is like
About the greatest band of all time.
We're going to talk. By the way, can I just say this is if you've not watched Harry Met Sally, this is a spoiler alert.
We'll get to that. We had a fight about the greatest band of all time.
You did. NBC Sports producer Adam Littlefield once told me that he was having an argument with you, Kyle, about who
Everyone
was
fights with me?
the greatest band in the world. I think one of you, possibly you, suggested The Doors. I don't know. Oh my God, there's someone from Led Zeppelin's here in the crowd tonight. Respect. Wasn't you. It was actually Oasis. But go on, keep going with the story. Bex chimed in totally seriously into this argument with you and Adam Littlefield and said,
well, Adam and I were throwing around, just big, huge arena bands. Zeppelin, we were throwing out Pink Floyd, we were throwing out just some big bands. And then Bex threw out a name, and I laughed because I thought she was kidding. And I laughed too because I'd never heard of them. But she said, take
never
that.
heard of them. Yeah. By the way, for those of you who do not know who Take... By the way, does anyone here know who Take That Off?
You're lying! You absolutely know it.
By the way, can I just tell you, Kyle just cheered when I said to any of you know who Take That Off. Just shut your eyes and mentally picture English New Kids on the Block. Or if you can't picture that, just picture 5 Kyle Martinos in one band.
Pretty much.
Kyle, you actually told me when we chatted about this, you said, Rebecca on NBC's football coverage is constantly doing an audition for no one. I didn't know what you meant. And then I saw this clip. Let's take a look.
Oh no!
Yes!
There's that. I got it. Got a picture of you beside me.
This sounds like a coffee
lipstick mark still on your coffee cup.
Now wrap your lips around a nice warm
I
cup of
just
Joe.
want you back for good.
Want you back?
You heard this song.
I've heard that song.
For good.
This is Take That?
Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me
easy
the
to sing
song
along
and
with.
you'll sing it. I've had so many songs. See, I want.
The thing I love about this clip is that you, Kyle Martino, are just off to the right, showering Rebecca Lowe, Becky Lowe, with total disdain. And then when the chorus kicks in, back for good, you can't help yourself but chime in.
I guess that's the thing, is I didn't realize that they are one of the great bands of all time.
Thank you very much, Carl
The
Martin.
Musto reaction is to die for, like a grandfather at the wedding. Like a grandfather at the wedding.
Well, Musto does this. When we get in fights, Musto every time does this.
Bless him, bless him.
I've got to tell you, this depiction of Musto
Talk
is
amongst
not here to
yourselves, I'll be
defend
back.
himself. Musto hates facing arguments like Granite Xhaka hates tackling. Whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it.
I just want you back.
Want you back. Oh, one rule on the studio now, Robbie. What is it?
Sorry?
Isn't there one rule in the NBC soccer studio? Less
No
Rebecca Lowe singing.
for Rebecca Lowe.
Well, yeah, Bex. So I said love hate. When we're in those love moments,
Yeah.
we start to sing Broadway shows together.
Songs from the shows. Lowe and Martino, songs from the shows.
My own.
Oh, pretend to is beside me.
When I lose my way, I close my
eyes and you. We don't actually know the words. We just go.
I don't know any of the words, but I get into it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Tony Hibbert of Broadway, people. Let's hear it for Carl Martino. And they said he couldn't have made it in the Premier League. Who are they? What are their ideas? Kyle?
Yes.
I want you to paint the picture for me.
Oh, I have shaky hands. I'm not good at painting pictures.
What does it feel? What does it feel like?
You've seen me on the Higo.
To arrive at Stanford early Saturday morning? You're in planning sessions. In the makeup room.
Yeah.
I've got to imagine, I always picture it like this.
Yeah.
Bex is in the makeup chair.
For a long time.
Who's painting the picture? You're painting the picture?
I'm just imagining.
Okay.
I don't think about this stuff. I'm always worried about the like Hull's lineup and shit like that, you know what I mean? But sometimes my mind strays. It does. It does. When the infomercial comes on for the hand warmers, I do start to think about Bex in curlers, orange juice in one hand, a banana in the other.
Have you been there?
Just imagining Robbie Musto's FaceTiming in from his 8th straight week of vacation.
Correct.
Earle, you're just strolling in from the club. Kyle, you're being full body spray tan quietly in the corner. And amidst all of this, just imagining. By the way, what percentage, Rebecca, am I right about all of this?
100.
There you are.
90%.
There you are. He wears a Speedo.
The only thing you're missing is that Robbie Musto, when he comes in the morning, it's awkward as hell. Yeah. He tells these stories, mostly of his dreams that he had.
Yeah.
And weird.
He once
And
dreamt
one
about
of them
the
was
Queen.
about the Queen and him making out and like a spider coming over them or something like that.
Mate, he's got
Don't
a
consult a dream dictionary on this one.
Can I just tell you, Robbie Musto has got to carry over the fact that he spent the whole week texting you back, who dis? But when all this is going on,
new phone, who dis?
He uses a pager still, Robbie Musto, to be candid.
911, Musto, get to work. Where are you?
How do you begin to plan ideas for the opening segment? I mean, how does that go down? I imagine it somewhat like you, as Trump, negotiating with the Freedom Caucus. How does it all happen? Because you're like, this, speak now, you now this, now this. How does it go down?
Beck signs executive orders and goes like this. We're talking about moist. We're talking about moist.
How does it go down?
How does it go down?
It's very organic. We come in, the first thing we do, you don't talk shop right away. We come in, if we're not talking about Musto's dream, we're talking about something first to just get into the rhythm a little bit.
Yeah, we do a little bit of rhythm talk and then back to right.
I thought Rog was giving him a sophisticated note about the rundown. He just wanted to kid us. That's basically my role on Many Places. That's what it's come to.
Well, I mean, here's how the morning started. Bex shows up at like 1 a.m. And she's there with Mags, the makeup woman, who's remarkable. And her and Bex are just laughing. You hear it from the parking lot. Yeah. And then I come in because I'm not very good with schedules. I always come in a little too early.
Or too late.
And Bex always says, "What the hell are you doing here this early?"
Yeah.
And then Earle comes in straight from the bar.
Yeah.
And Musto comes in wondering.
But with an issue. Comes in with an issue.
Why don't we hang out more? I don't understand. We've got to do that more.
And why do you not broadcast this?
Yeah, well.
Gonna cut you out. Go on, David.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay, so you might argue like brothers and sisters, but to us, you're amongst the great brother and sister combos, right up there with Juliet and Eric Roberts, as far as we're concerned. We're going to give you the mic so you can pay true tribute to the low dog.
Oh, man.
The low dog.
Well, we're family, for sure. And we're like the Kardashians without the asses. I mean, we
Speak for yourself.
Musto would be better here to say it because he has a nose about the same size as Tom Cruise. But at the end of Jerry Maguire, he says, "You complete me," and Rebecca Lowe completes us. We do not work without her. We are a mess that only comes together when Rebecca sits there and puts it in the right tune. And we're all playing a different song, but each of us have a unique quality that we bring to the team. But without Rebecca, it just doesn't hit like it hits. And man, I mean, I can't imagine it without her. I really can't. Except for when Liam's there, and it's great.
or Earle comes over and he does it too.
That was subtexting.
Oh, sorry.
I gotta say, before we move on to the Blazer presentations and you take that Robbie Musto picture frame off stage with you, I'm actually going to throw it into the audience. We want to thank you both, you and Robbie Musto, and the producers behind the scenes. I just say, as someone that loves watching football's growth in America, I'm speaking for myself here, and you guys, the three of you, and Robbie Musto in the picture frame, because he couldn't be arsed being here tonight. He said, "What are you paying me?" We said, "Guinness." Excuse me. Cheers, guys.
But you know who Rebecca is, though, Raj?
Go on.
And we've joked about it, but she is. She's the person that runs it, but it doesn't run without her, and she's the one that would slap Moyes if he wasn't careful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you've just described Tony Poulis. But
put that on pay-per-view.
To you, to Musto, to the producers behind the scenes, you are making us all love football every week more and more. But the honest truth is, it's your friendship that comes across through the screen, through the television. That value is all too rare in our society. And I want to thank you, Davo and I want to thank you, not just from us in this room, but on behalf of every football fan in the United States. Let's just thank you for the NBC studio show, for Robbie Earle, for Robbie Musto, for Robbie Musto, for Robbie Earle. He bothered to be here. The Robbie, just remember him as the Robbie Earle, the Robbie that bothered to be here tonight. And for the beautiful, beautiful, remarkable and unbelievably talented and fantastic human being, Robbie Earle. Also the great and amazing...
Where are you going with this, Rog?
I was trying to spread joy happily.
Okay,
I adore both of these human beings.
Yeah.
And Mr. Carl Martino, thank you.
Rebecca Lowe has an American child. She needs to wave the American flag.
Oh, come on, Rebecca. Come on, Rebecca. Rog might never be back. This might be the live show of my dreams. Let's talk about the thing that Rog didn't want us to talk about. So the Mercersburg Academy, we have this remarkable thing in common. We both attended the same boarding school in Pennsylvania under the same scholarship, separated by about 425 years. Yes. Oh, Roger's back. But when I came to the Mercersburg Academy, I was like, my life is changed forever. Yeah. I'm moving to America. Mercersburg has changed me. Was it the same thing for you?
Same thing for me. I, on reflection, wish I'd stayed in America afterwards. But after coming to Mercersburg, my mum will tell you, she always says that once I got back after my year, I was like, I need to get back there. I need to get back to Mercersburg.
the mall at Hagerstown.
Oh, I love the mall and the movie theater.
So good. Okay, now the Hagerstown Mall. Oh, the hospital in Chambersburg. They made great improvements. Great improvements. Okay, now we want to move to the crescendo of our evening. We've got one more note to hit before we move to the Golden Blazer. Let me ask you a question. Who, not including me, is your broadcasting hero?
Wow. I have a few. English or American? Well, probably.
You don't have to say anyone named Robbie.
That's where we go.
You don't have to say Robbie.
Everything we prepared is
Elkie Gundogan. Elkie Gundogan.
He's not only my broadcasting hero,
Yeah.
he's just my hero, and that's my dad.
Your dad, Chris.
Is he here?
We didn't have the money. Anyway.
You fly here.
We don't have any money. Anyway. Anyone?
She just said. No, the answer She just said, "Is he here?" And I went, "No." She goes, "Oh, bollocks."
He begged us to pay for him to come here. We said no.
We don't stand out the money. No, can't be asked.
No, we were going to get him, and then we got Carl Martino.
This rider. Who can afford him after his rider?
I just say about Becca's dad, Chris. Anyone who grew up in England knows what an amazing broadcaster he is. What a standard that he set for you to try and follow. He couldn't be here tonight.
Because we didn't pay for him to come here.
Bastards.
No. He can't be here tonight. We spent all the money on Sir Mix-a-Lot for the Seattle show.
We said Wednesday night, you said bridge night. I said I play cards on Wednesday. I said, but it's your daughter. He said if it was a Robbie, I'd be there, but your dad. I mean, Rebecca Lowe. One's little Becky Lowe, 9 years of age at Selhurst Park. Take a look at the screen.
Hello, darling. Now look, you remember I always said that when someone was paying you a compliment, that my reply was always, they must be thinking about someone else. They're not thinking about someone else tonight. They're definitely thinking about you. This is the time, of course, for jackets, for green jackets for the Masters, but tonight it's blazers, a golden blazer, men in blazers, working with men, a bit shorter hair up top. One of the big broadcasting rules, actually, which you've broken. You shouldn't really spend too much time working with people without much hair on top. However, you survived that, and now you're on Men in Blazers. You're getting the gold jacket, gold blazer, and I'm looking forward enormously to seeing it. Your broadcasting career started, of course, when you were just a precocious teenager. Do you remember in the back of the car, we were driving back from Crystal Palace one night, having seen Crystal Palace win, I hope, just rather like we brilliantly thrashed Chelsea at the weekend. And on that evening, in the back of the car, you decided you were going to ring up the radio station, the BBC's main sports radio station, to take part in the football phone-in. I can't remember whether you were going to say how good the Palace were or whether you were going to criticise the referee, probably a bit of both. Anyway, you did, and you then spent the next few minutes talking live on BBC Radio to the presenter about the Palace and about the referee and everything else. That was then. Now is now. Over the last few years, you've gone right through to really the most difficult job I can imagine in broadcasting. There's nothing in this country like it, doing what you do with the football. It's absolutely amazing on the Premier League show what you managed to do. The skill you need, the sense of humour you need, the smile occasionally you need, the courage, the ability to absorb facts quickly, not worrying about a script, just talking as it comes and thinking very quickly, and of course having to cope with the two Robbies and with Carl. No wonder you've got this award. You hugely deserve it, and I am extremely, extremely proud of you. You've done absolutely brilliantly, and most important of all, and I would say this as a proud father, but believe me, I know it's true, you're a lovely human being. Have a great night.
Oh, bit of a mo.
Wow.
Yeah, we really should have brought him here. That was a big. Right now, if I said, and here he is, That would have stopped the entire thing. That would have been absolutely amazing, but we're useless. Okay, we're about to present you with the Golden Blazer. The Golden Blazer, Rebecca Lowe, is given to individuals who have grown the game we love, football, soccer, in the country we love, the United States of America. When the esteemed panel of past Golden Blazer winners was convened, the conclave of the previous Golden Blazer winners, although I seem to think it was just Rog going into his room, they were unanimous in their selection. In truth, what you have done for the game's rise in this country cannot be overstated. It is no coincidence that soccer truly took off in this country with your arrival.
Rebecca, you spent the last 4 years dedicating yourself to providing deeply informed, intelligent, accessible, easily accessible context, narrative around the Premier League, bringing to life the agonies lived by Arsene Wenger, the majesty of Sir Harry Kane's Rise and Rise, the fairy tale boom and bust of Leicester City, and the pie-fueled beer spill beauty of backwaters like Middlesbrough and Sunderland, and the human perfection that is Neil Ashton, with style, grace, and concise brilliance. Most remarkable thing is that you make the incredibly difficult look incredibly easy. The hard work, the deep mastery of knowledge, the black belt in broadcasting that you bring, it's not effortless. And you, Rebecca Lowe, have done more to grow the game in this country than Pele, David Beckham, and Freddie Adu combined. Without further ado, we would ask our audience to please rise for the Mother of Dragons, Khaleesi, Daenerys Targaryen, Lady Lowe, first of her name, a broadcaster, as her father said, a human being who does not just make us feel good about football, but Rebecca Lowe, you make us feel great about life itself. Please be upstanding as we bestow upon you, by the bull powers that are vested in us, with all of our gratitude, the 2017 Golden Blazer, Rebecca Lowe!
Got a mini Golden Blazer tailored for little T-Bucks. It was cut with a little extra girth to fit over a diaper. Lady Lowe, Rebecca Lowe, sir. The floor is yours.
Oh, my goodness me. Well, when you guys... Oh, thank you.
You look good in gold.
Do I?
You can wear that colour.
Is it yellow though?
It's golden.
Yellow?
It's made of pure gold.
Virgin silkworms.
When you guys told me that I would be getting this honour of the Golden Blazer
last night,
I thought, I thought that would complete my life until Palace smashed Chelsea last Saturday.
I'm just going to let you have that because you're a Golden Blazer.
Big of you, David. Big of you.
Yeah. All joking aside for just a quick second or two, I mean, how you've gone from the Attorney General to me, I don't know, but I'm taking that as well. All joking aside, you two have been quite staggering. I don't think there has ever been as much support for one television programme and for people from any other TV show or TV people ever than you guys showed to us. And
the O'Reilly show to the Trump administration.
Well, yeah. Actually, my whole business is based around making talk shows that are about other shows.
You know what I mean.
But yeah, you're right.
The support
yes, the
that
support.
you
We
guys...
love you.
Yeah.
We love it more than the
you.
football.
And we are incredibly grateful for that. And I want to say a huge thank you to both of you for all of your support, to me, to the guys, to our show, to our channel. Thank you for my lovely jacket. It's blazer.
Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you to Robbie and Carl and Musty, who, I mean, literally, where is he? He's never on the show. I think he's coming back next week.
He was here at the sound check.
Earle and Kyle and Musto are hands down the three best people I've worked with, on the air, off the air, the hardest working, the most articulate, the most brilliant, the most committed people. Imagine doing 12 hours in a studio with someone you don't like. It would be awful, and the guys make my job just brilliant. Here tonight, Adam Littlefield, Billy, who's here as well, are just two of people who, behind the scenes, really do make the show amazing. And I am genuinely blessed. This is for little Teddy Buckle, who couldn't come here tonight. Him and my husband are 3,000 miles away. If my husband hadn't given everything up in England to let me come to NBC and come and be here, then I wouldn't be here in this Golden Blazer. So he's the best, little Teddy Bucks and him. So I just thank you. And thank you to everybody, and just thank you.
So nice. Okay, we believe in many things. We believe in wine, pie, and song. We've had plenty of the first two, but it would not be a Men in Blazers night if the Golden Blazer without a tune. And in that respect, we welcome back to the stage a great GFOP to pay tribute to you, Rebecca Lowe, the man, the low dog, the man who is a veritable footballing Ed Sheeran. A big hand for the mighty Ben Clark. Take it away, Ben.
So you all clearly know how to make a lot of noise. I need you to sing along when you get the hang of this one, all right? First saw her face on a TV screen on NBC with two Robbies on some show. From what I could tell, she knew everything about all the matches and teams. It was out of control. When they came back from the halftime show, I thought, what's her name? I just had to know it was Lowe. Rebecca Lowe. Rebecca Lowe. Rebecca Lowe. She talks at the top of every episode before Rog and Davo in the crap part of Soho. Does Rebecca Lowe. She knows every coach must take great notes from Jurgen Klopp to Martino to Pep Guardiola. Rebecca Lowe. So if watching football feels brand new, she's got brains and beauty and an attitude to keep you in the know. Rebecca Lowe. She keeps close tabs on the team in Crystal Palace, and there ain't another analyst can say they got the talent of the Lowe. Come on, Rebecca Lowe. Be back in a mo. Rebecca Lowe. She's like British royalty, making soccer analyses, making a bigger impact than Beckham, signing for the Galaxy. Performance is prolific like Valencia got in San Jose, bringing us much closer to the beautiful game. Pele couldn't get Americans to come to a match, but now Rebecca and Martino lead that counterattack. They'll be wake up in the morning around 7 a.m., drinking coffee, watching Liverpool dismantling Everton, and I'm sorry about that rant. We all saw it. The first step is acceptance. I'm sorry about that ranch. Keep playing the babies. Post-game analysis from our favorite lady. But she's more than a face. She's the mother of dragons. She's a GFOP right here in NYC. Come on. Oh, I run on back to low. I run on back to low. I run on back to low.
Can we just hear it one last time? Hear it loud, hear it proud. For Chris Lowe's daughter, the pride of Ealing, West London. Can we just hear it before I throw this Robbie Mustoe into the crowd? And we end this night and we meet you for a beer. Can we just hear it one more time for one of the most remarkable human beings I genuinely have ever met? Can we hear it for Rebecca Lowe, the Golden Blazer 2017?
Another Golden Blazer in the books. Thank you to Rebecca Lowe,
by the way,
Kyle.
Yellow and red, it's like Liverpool's away kit. I've never seen anyone fight so hard for a Robbie Mustoe framed photo.
It's quite Watford, this outfit. To Kyle, to Robbie, Arlo White, Graham Lasso, Bob Lee, Chris Brown, Patrick Vieira, Ben Clark. Oh, Robbie, Earle, for sullying themselves and risking their careers by joining us on this stage. Thank Thomas Pink for their ties, Guinness for their Guinness. And speaking of Guinness, we're going around the corner for a Guinness at the Globe. The address is 158 East 23rd Street. We hope to see each and every last one of you there.
I just want to say thank you to John Johnson. John Johnson, come on stage. The world's greatest Broadway producer. A GFOP who has taken a break from producing Hello Dolly to sully himself in our company. To everyone at NBC Sports, especially PM Musso and Adam Littlefield for their support with tonight. Jen Simon, Evan Matthews, Brad Feldman for their production. To the greatest duo in football production, JW and Lexi. Lexi, get up. J-Dubs, Lexi. J-Dubs is up there, Lexi's there. I think her dad and her mum are here. Are they here? Can I hear them? I want to hear Lexi's mum and dad. Thank you. They normally shout louder than all of you all night. It's really disappointing. They are the Xavi and Iniesta of the Men in Blazers outfit. They're the true heroes of our crap. And above all, to you GFOPs, and literally the several dozen of you listening to this crap on our pod at home, we raise our Guinness to you one last time and wish all of you who love the game that we love in the country we love, courage and kung fu fighting, America.